Hey YouTube, it's RedDrug101 here with an updated Dark World deck profile for you guys today, so let's just get right into it. First of all, we have the obligatory 3 Grapha. This card pops your opponent's cards, and if you get out a first turn Grapha against your opponent, they're going to have a real tough time dealing with him because he's a high beater, and due to the fact he's recyclable, kind of makes him a big threat. Next we have 3 Snows. If you guys didn't know, this card is the searcher of the deck, and she pretty much just ties the whole deck together. If you need more monsters, you can discard her and search more monsters. If you need more discard outlets, you can pitch her and get more discard outlets. So Snow's pretty versatile in this deck. Next we have 3 Brow. This card is pretty much the turbo card. If it's discarded, you get to draw a card, and on top of that, if it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you get to draw another. So this card is pretty much a +1 to 2 depending on the situation. Next we have 1 Beige. Originally I was running 2 Beiges, but I didn't like that because I tended to draw or dead draw them a lot, so 1 Beige is all you need. This card kind of creates a mini loop with Graphas in the grave. You can discard it with a discard outlet, special, bounce it back for Grapha, use another discard outlet, special, and then return it for Grapha and just keep going on. Next we have 2 Tour Guide. In this format you can only run 2 because it's semi. But you have 4 targets, the 1 additional Tour Guide and the 3 Brow. And this card has a lot of good synergy with Gates, and then you can go into Levier and bring something back and bounce it back for Grapha. So Tour Guide's pretty essential in this deck. Next we have 3 Gates of the Dark World. This card is very, very good in this deck. You can turbo through your deck very fast with this. You can just do so many combos with this card. You can pitch Snow, search another Gates, and then just keep going on from there. So this card pretty much starts off your whole combo. Next we have 3 Dealings. This card is very self-explanatory. You draw 1 and discard 1. This card is just a very easy discard outlet. Next we have 3 Drag Down. In my opinion, this card is what makes Dark World. This card is the control factor, I'd say, because you get to look at your opponent's hand, discard 1, and then draw 1. So this card has a lot of good synergy with Mind Crush, and being able to see your opponent's hand just reveals a lot of information that Yu-Gi-Oh players need to win the match. So Drag Down is a very, very good card in this deck. Next we have 3 Upstarts. This card is just draw power. In my version, this is a turbo version of Dark World, so you want to get to your cards as fast as possible, and Upstart helps with that. And the life point gain for your opponent doesn't really matter that much because Grapha can just beat down your opponent. So the life point gain won't really matter in the long run. Next we have 1 Allure. As I said, I like to dig through my cards, and Allure just helps with that. Plus it has a lot of good synergy with Tour Guide, as I mentioned before. You can go Levy, or you can go Allure, banish something, summon Tour Guide, and then bring back that banished thing and bounce it back for Grapha. So Allure is very good in this deck. Next we have Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy, what I like to call the Trinity nowadays. And an important note, always Monster Reborn a Dark World and bounce it back for Grapha. Don't just Monster Reborn Grapha, because if you bounce back a Dark World, you get a +1. Next we have Card Destruction, one of the most broken cards in this deck. It's just so easy. If you have like 3-4 Dark Worlds in hand, you draw this, activate it, you get so many pluses. And last but not least, 1 Foolish Burial. Some people don't like Foolish. I personally like it because you want to get to Grapha as fast as possible and just control the board from there. And Grapha's presence in the field is just so big because no monsters can run over him. Like, what decks can you guys think of nowadays that can summon a beater bigger than Grapha, besides maybe Hieratics, which aren't even relevant nowadays? So Foolish just makes it that much more important. Next we have 2 Torrentials. This deck doesn't run many defensive traps, but Torrential is one of those defensive traps you can run, because if you torn your own field, and most of the time your field will be like Grapha, maybe 2 back row, like it doesn't really hurt you in the long run because you can just normal summon a Dark World and bounce it back for Grapha. So in the end, you're not really losing anything. Next we have 2 Compulsory Evacuation Device. I didn't see many Dark World decks run it, but I've seen a few. And originally I had Bombless in place of this, but as I was playtesting with Compulse more, I found it more versatile in the matchups. And it's just an easy 1 card out to cards like Zenmaines and a lot of X-Seeds that are important. And also don't forget that 6 Sam still exists as a deck, guys. Like, if you top deck a Bombless or you don't have it set up for that Netria Beast, like, honestly, what is that going to do for you? if you top deck a Compulse against a Nitriri Beast, you can just bounce it back. So that's why I like Compulse, because Nitriri Beast just absolutely rapes this deck. Next, we have one Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment is there for protection when you set a lot of back row and you don't want your whole field getting heavy. Like, that's pretty much the main card that hurts this deck besides Nitriri Beast. Setting all your stuff and you have no protection, and then your opponent wipes your field clean with Heavy Storm. So Solemn Judgment is there to kind of mitigate that problem. Next, we have 3 Reckless Greed. Like I said, it's a turbo version, and you want to dig through your cards as fast as possible, so Reckless Greed helps you with that. And next, we have 2 Mind Crush. Mind Crush has a lot of good synergy with Drag Down and Deck Devastation Virus. And a lot of decks search nowadays, like with Agents, you have Earth, and you have Sangan. You have that new Gear Gigant X thingy, so Mind Crush is very relevant in this deck. Plus, if you don't call the right card your opponent searches for, then you can just flip it and randomly call like Blue Eyes White Dragon. Like, don't forget, this card's always a discard outlet too. Granted, you may not want to do that, but it's always that option. And last but not least, 1 Deck Devastation Virus. I do have an English one, so don't fret. But Deck Devastation Virus is very good against decks like Agents, which run a lot of small guys, TGs, windups especially. Like, this card just absolutely hurts windups. And you know, you can tribute your Grapha, and Grapha comes back anyway, so you don't really take any losses. Plus, this card lets you see your opponent's next 3 draws in your hand when you activate it. So, you know, it has really good synergy with Mind Crush. And that's pretty much the whole deck. That's 41 main deck cards. Next, we have the extra deck. 1 Zenmaines, 1 Levier, 2 Leviathan Dragons, 1 Acid Golem, 1 Giga Brilliant, 1 Grenosaurus, 1 Muzu Rhythm, 1 Tempo, 1 Mellow Melody, 1 Maystroke, 1 Evagishki Merogeist, 1 Utopia, Photon Papillo Operative, Gemini Pearl, and yeah, I think that's it. There should be a Stardust somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But aside from besides Zenmaines and Levier and maybe Tempo, all the other Xyzs kind of don't matter that much because they're not as important. And for my side deck, I'm gonna show you guys some side deck cards. But personally, for me, I feel that you need to side for what's in your local meta, because you know my meta might be different from you guys, so I can't guarantee that my side deck is going to work for everything. But I do side 2 Veilers against Agents and Windups and some random decks. Like at my locals, some dude plays Inzektor, so you know, obviously we have to side Veilers because we don't want to get wrecked by Dragonfly. And next we have 3 MSTs against cards like D-Fissure and Macrocosmos, because those cards absolutely destroy this deck. So you need to run MSTs to get rid of those. Next we have 2 Skill Drains. It's the same reasoning as Veiler. And last but not least, 2 Royal Decree. Royal Decree is really good for back row heavy decks like TGs and Rabbits, which give this deck a problem, and Heroes as well. So that pretty much does it for my whole Dark World deck. You know, let me know if you like it, and if you want to improve on it, leave some comments. I always read my comments, so if you guys have any good suggestions, let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. This is Regirock 101 signing out.